I'm Italian and I have been arrested in Italy about 8 months ago for having fought against the Germans and the fascists. And from the Germans I was brought in the concentration camp in Mauthausen. From there I was brought here in Linz. I must consider myself quite lucky because I have been in a camp for only 8 months. Life in hospital was very hard for us because we had no medical cures. We had very little food to eat. We were kept in small rooms, 3, 4 in one bed, with very much dirt and no possibility to wash. And we had very often, very many died every day. In our room, for instance, about 50 men we were, and each day 3 or 4 men used to die, sometimes even more than that. I have worked all the time I was here in Linz in a factory where we used to build tanks. I worked as welder. We used to work 12 hours a day, and work was quite hard. We were quite glad when we heard the American guns coming nearer, because we knew that liberation was coming.
Then a fortnight ago,
well, tell to our friend how it was with those injections.
They decided to eliminate the most possible people from the hospital.
For which reason?
Because there was no food.
And they ordered the medical service to make injections for that purpose.
Yes.
We refused to do it. And
but
then
in Mauthausen they did it.
The SS.
Yes, but in Mauthausen you have done it thousands of times.
Sanitaire.
You have too new to know.
No, I don't.
Yes, the SS Sanitaire took the people in the bathroom there, and with cold water, 20 minutes, during 20 minutes, he made a cold bath.
A cold bath.
Yes.
Whipping and,
there was an SS
and knocking
yes, the SS man himself.
The SS man himself, you understand? And next day, we had many casualties, and a third of these people were dead.
And you know, the Americans came the next day bombing, and they cut off the water, so they couldn't start again.
It was a happy event.
Yes, it was the finest thing that could happen.
There are many lives saved in that manner.
Terrible.
And do you remember the
scaffold
there,
yes,
in that place?
Wow.
Here was the scaffold.
Yeah.
And they had hanged 3 men there for 1
3
day.
men?
All the camp was assembled, and they had to look at it. A few days later, one more man was hanged.
Yes.
Well, that's
And you don't know what has gone on in Mauthausen. There is much worse
Mauthausen
than
was
here.
terrible.
Have we?
Extermination camp.
Extermination camp. Camp number 3.
Absolutely. Alors, tu peux...
And Alex, I've been told that the Jews here have much suffered.
They suffered awfully.
Not only here, but in all the camps.
A few days ago, they put all the Jews together in a small room where they lived without any food, like beasts, and they were happily saved by the arrival of our friends Americans.
And you know how we are all full of lice and so on, and those are still more than we were.
And you didn't see in Mauthausen when the American parachutists were caught.
Yes,
and
you were there.
I was there at that time.
You
Well,
were there?
say how it was,
They
because
were-
that's very interesting.
They were caught and killed in 5 days in the hard labor company.
You know what
Executed,
Yes,
executed,
the
working with stone.
carrying heavy stones,
Yes.
and
And you know what it is, getting out the steps.
beaten by the capos, and the
Yes.
capos are all criminals, you know, German thieves, German murderers, executing the dirty business under the orders of the SS.
Yes, that's what
They
they do
had
it
to get up
themselves.
by
They had to
very
get
long
up
stairs.
186
down.
steps. 12 times a day to go up and 12 times to go
And
down.
how was it in the camp? Is that true with the chains and dogs? But they
And
were changed up.
dogs and wolf dogs that were
And they were put in
beating.
chains.
beating and chains.
Is that true?
It's true, exactly.
Because I have been told of that, but
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it.
Exactly. It's absolutely true.
Horrible.
Horrible thing.
Horrible.
Finished.